Your spirit team will never lead you astray. Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. For those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath, and today I want to talk about the beauty, the majesty, and the surgical accuracy of your spirit team. I had something happen in my life where I was unsure. I had woken up in the morning, not this morning, but a morning not too long ago, with an unsteady feeling. There were several things that were on my plate, and there were several people that were up for debate. And I had an unsteady feeling specifically about some things, and I didn't understand it. Now, as a reader, I can clearly discern and use my intuition, as I recommend we all do. And as a tarot reader, I have cards aplenty to pull too. And I was guided that morning very specifically to pull cards. And what I pulled was essentially a mess. It was a mess. For any reader or anybody that knows cards, I received every card of treachery, every card of duplicity, every card of deceit. So that would be the Five of Swords, someone who is playing games for fun. The Three of Swords, heartbreak. The Seven of Swords, purposeful, malicious omission and or deceit, and everything. And then I asked a question, a clarifying question. Why would these persons, these people, these folks at question do this to me? Why would they do this to me? And they gave me one clarifying answer, and it was centered around something very specific that made it all make sense. So I got that clarifying card, and I thought, okay, I don't understand it because the people in question, the persons, the group, the collective in question, do not seem to be moving in this direction. And my angel said, are you sure about that? Have we not given you other flags, other inferences, other observations? That's one of my giftings, is observing. I observe patterns, and even before I believe what is before my eyes, which is one of my favorite quotes from Maya Angelou, when someone shows you who they are or tells you who they are, believe them the first time. And so I very often make clear notes when I am getting intel about folks the first time, even if for whatever reason I will override it. Now let's talk about some of the main reasons that we override things. It could be a familial connection. So we will override our greater sensibilities and intuitions about something that's happening. It could be attraction. That's one of the main reasons that we get off kilter. It's also one of the reasons that we're pulled in to a lot of our spiritual growth. You may be attracted to a connection, a group, a collective, a person, and so your energy will go that way, so you're more inclined to listen or pay attention. It's why attractive people, just statistically speaking, captivate us more, right? We're more apt to listen to a pretty or a handsome or attractive person talking than we would someone else that we weren't naturally attracted to. And again, attraction is in the eye of the beholder, but you guys know what I mean. Guy or girl here listening, you know exactly what I mean. So that's one of the other reasons. And then the other reason would be loyalty. So if there's an established thread of loyalty, we will be more inclined to give someone, quote unquote, the benefit or the doubt. And if you happen to mix all three of those, or not really mix all three, because if it's family, the other two wouldn't be mixed, but loyalty could be mixed, right? So there'll always be some combination of two of those three components. I'm attracted, I'm loyal, or you're familial, or, and familial doesn't have to just be DNA. It could be like a bestie. It could be a great friend. It could be a coworker, but there's a bond. Yes. So, and you're loyal, but two components will be at play that would cause you to override your intuition to a greater degree. So actual attraction viscerally and or familial bonds, but always mixed in with loyalty. Make sense? Got it. Take notes, guys. That's good intel there, so you understand how you operate. In any case, I clarified that card, and the one card that I got was so profound that I understood exactly what it was. Now, here's the thing. The way that our angels and our spirit team work with us is they teach us things in multiple layers. So that morning I had done something very specific that also carried into, and for everything, the reason I'm not telling you about exactly what it is because it doesn't matter. You'll have to figure out what way they're speaking to you. But there was something that was literally physical. And I literally dealt with that physical thing, and I understood, and I had put it off for a reason, and for whatever reason that morning I was guided to deal with it, and I did. And that very same morning I just had this uneasy feeling. I pulled the cards, I got the clarification, and I said, I don't understand, Spirit. And they said, you will before the day is over. And before the day is over, I got incredible verbal confirmation of everything that I had felt, everything that I had read, even though I didn't understand it, and everything that would have gone over my head because I was operating under those components that I say can be distracting, I just heard the word distraction. That could be distracting, or could be an illusion, could lead you to self-illusion. That's one of the things when we delude ourselves, right? So if there's loyalty, attraction, or a familial bond, you will to some level override your greater sensibilities. Well, that's why the cards are really interesting, because they're static. You can't override. I couldn't override all those swords. If I'm a reader and I'm reading that for you as a client, I'm like, what kind of shit show is this? This is a mess. This is a non-communicative, not healthy mess. And why is this happening? There were also some cups in there. 7 of Cups, which is scorpionic energy, which has to do with illusion and confusion and multiple options and choices and all of that stuff. So I was looking at it and I was thinking, this is rough. Do I want to sign up for this? And my angels asked me, do you? They asked me clearly, do you want to sign up to be in another situation, collective situation, work with other people, multiple people? Do you want to do this again? Or do you want to take heed? Because they showed me it was a dead end. They said this will end not well for you if you decide it's something you want to do. It doesn't mean you can't do it. Our free will is always intact. And that's what I want to leave you with today, guys. The angels and your ancestors and your spirit team always have your back, even in spite of yourself, even in spite of your own illusions, because of those 3 components, whether it be attraction, familial, or loyalty. You will sometimes override things that are clear as day for anybody else to see. But by the end of the day, I had confirmation, literally, exactly from the collective at large. It was very clear to me, and I understood, and I was like, oh, this is what it is. And that's okay. It was okay, but it was me being guided in any kind of miraculous way. And before the night was over, I went and lit a candle, and I thanked my angels for their candor, because it's not easy to be honest with anybody. You think our spirit team loves to let us down or deflate us or to drop our hopes or any of that? No. But what they won't do is let us go headlong into something that is not right, or that isn't fair, or that would leave us without a care, or that isn't the direction. It doesn't even have to be so insidious. It could just be not the direction for you. And you have to listen to the tremors that you have. And I had tremors regarding this collective, and I thought, oh my God. When I say tremors, like I never felt settled in my decision making. Every time I think I'd be settled, there would be another quote unquote haymaker, if you will. And I just never could sit on my perch and be still and feel safe. And it's because, and I'm hearing perch and crows, spiritual information coming your way. Pay attention to if you're seeing crows. I could never feel safe. And I was like, I don't know why I don't feel safe. Everything says it's safe. There's big signs that say it should be safe. I should feel safe. And they were like, you're not safe here. And this is us testing you to see if your spiritual energy has leveled up. Do you get what's happening? Do you understand how we are trying to make sure that you have the Ace of Cups? The Ace of Cups in tarot is the ultimate card of love, fulfillment, and nourishment. It means that you are poured into. It means that you are so poured into and juicily filled that you are overflowing to everyone around you, to the collective around you, to your family, to your lover, to your friend, to your bestie. You've got enough to give everybody. When we have multiple cups, it can be good. 2 is beautiful. That's union. 3 is collective friendship and also someone collaborating. 4 means you're not interested. 5 is sadness and literally crying over spilled milk because something you may have wanted did not go the way that you would or willed it to go. 6 of Cups is a soulmate. 7 of Cups is confusion. It could be a lot of dates. It also is someone who could be playing games. The 8 of Cups is walking away when you realize which way it didn't go. The Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment, more than you could ever dream or know. It also could mean that someone around you is selfish. The Ten of Cups is community and family. It's a beautiful thing to see. But the Ace of Cups is the fulfillment, absolutely, of your love destiny. I want you guys to understand that. Because if you don't read tarot, that's what you need to understand. And so in the reading that I gave to myself, with the collective before me at hand, there are lots of things that were there. And my angel said these things could cause great despair for you. Guys, we will be challenged to override what is our carnal energy to have a fulfilled outcome. When they say release the outcome, sometimes you are offered the opportunity to dance with a collective and to engage with a person or to engage with a friend or a family member who is a prototype. That doesn't mean that everything about them is just right. That doesn't mean that they are actually there to stay and they're going to fill your days and nights. It does mean that they are showing you exactly what you like. Does that make sense? It's actually really delightful. It means that you get to engage with the prototype. Now, it's funny. What's coming to my mind is the movie Megan. Megan is about a robot android doll that like turns evil and becomes sentient and like has human awareness, and she goes on a killing spree. So maybe not a great channel, or maybe it is a channel for those of you that are having your own situations bubble to the surface, as so many of you guys give me great feedback in notes and letters and emails about things that happen for you while we're reading. So things will come up to the surface for you as I'm talking. When I say reading, gosh, to me it's always a reading, but as I'm channeling and talking to you in these videos, your own situations will come to the fore of your mind, and you'll think, oh, that's like something I dealt with like this or like that, right? So I'm channeling Megan, and what that means is Megan was a prototype. She wasn't the finished doll, but because of like greed and, capitalism, they were trying to push it ahead of its time before it could really be properly tested. A lot of us have been invested into prototypes, and that's not necessarily bad. It is our human nature. When Megan was seen by the test groups, it was like, oh my gosh, she's the dream. This is beautiful. She's just behaving exactly as it would seem. This is why vetting matters in any of these situations. I was listening a lot to people that have gotten out of cults, and that's why I pay a lot of attention when collectives are before me to join, because my propensity is to be in that, but it's to be destructive of it, whatever it is. If there is a falsehood or a falsity, my soul almost seeks and destroys. We empaths can be killers of narcissists or low-laying or low-level toxic people. Even if we don't understand what we're getting into, we're sent in to dismantle, right? Kind of like the bomb squad. So I pay a lot of attention. I've been listening to a lot of like cult stuff recently, and listening to people get out of it, especially with the 8 passengers thing that's been like taking over everything. The Mormon mother and her partner, quote unquote, who's actually her lover, allegedly, let me tell it from what I could see. Anyway, that whole scandal, a scandal of the child abuse, and she was just arrested. But it's a very cult mentality that was happening there. So I've been highly attuned to that. But here's the thing. We will be sent in prototypes, and it will seem like everything is just right. And it'll seem like I aspire to be this, or I aspire to be with this person, or I aspire to be part of this collective. But that's why you're supposed to vet it, because prototypes always have faulty issues and can self-destruct on you. Now, not to the degree of Megan, we hope. But if you decide, I think of Andre 3000's song, God, Entree is in the level low. I don't know what the song is, but he says, you are the prototype. Maybe we can something to the stars. Like he's in love, and he's talking about being in love because someone's the prototype in his life. He's centering this woman, and he's saying she is the prototype. But the thing about prototypes is they still need more testing, and they still need to be investigated more. And it still could have drama and shenanigans in store, like Megan in that movie with the doll that goes, rogue. That's what I want you guys to understand, and that's what your angels want you to know, that sometimes they will tap you on your shoulder and say no. No! No. And you will not understand it. When I began that morning without any empirical evidence as to what I was seeing, but see, I know how good they are when they channel through me and when I step out of the way. And I did something I hadn't done in the whole time I had been engaging in that collective dynamic, which was ask the question, literally with cards, what is going on here? I don't do that. When I'm involved with any kind of collective, or if it's an interpersonal relationship, if it's a friend, if it's a lover, my husband, I do not pull cards on that, because I find that you can have too myopic of a view, meaning you're too close to it to really, as a reader, right? And as a person involved, we're too close to have any level of heightened discernment. I have readers that read for me, and I have other modalities, meaning like a pendulum and various things that can step me outside of my body so that I can ask a question and get a higher level of a discerning answer. But when I'm dealing interpersonally with people, I just rely mostly and primarily on my intuition, because it doesn't fail me. But if I'm uneasy, it is nice to pull in a tool. And the whole time I had been dealing with that collective dynamic, there was not a tool that I used. Only my own intuition, only whatever I felt needed to help me understand whether I was seeing clearly or I was confused. But that morning, upon using the tools, I was pissed. And that's another thing. You will be pissed. But here's the thing about any reader that works for you. We're humans too, and we are subject to having to do our work as well, just like you. Meaning, we don't get clear, clean answers about our family, about our jobs, about collectives, about people that we're invested with. We don't get that about our interpersonal relationships. We are walking through this human experiment just like all you, okay? So while you may be like, oh, that's so cool, your job, it's not. It doesn't give us any head up or legs up in our interpersonal lives. It helps us do the work for you, because that's what we agree to in this contract, soul contract of incarnation. But I just say that so that you can understand, like, oh, it must be so nice. You can just read the future and see everybody's ultimate outcomes and see what's going to happen. No, I don't. I have inklings, and I get overarching predictions. Like, my angels will say X, Y, and Z is supposed to happen within this time frame, should free will not be engaged by the other collectives involved, etc., etc. Or if free will is engaged, it could go this way or that way. I always get a heads up. But what I don't get is a direct, clear, this is how it's going to go. They always let me know to a degree. And that morning, with that card pull that I was guided to do, that I had never done, and the whole time that I had been interacting with that collective dynamic, I pulled. And I hated it because it was disappointing, and because it was treacherous, and because it was going to leave me in a lurch. And I was like, why, Jesus? Am I not out here doing your good work? And they said, you are, daughter. And that's why we will honor your worth. We see your worth. You're worth your weight in gold. You're worth your weight in more than that, in metals that are precious, that have never even been uttered by human tongues. Come on, human tongues. That gave me goosebumps when I heard it. They said, in metals that are precious, that have never been uttered by human tongues. And I heard intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic, another dimension. That part. Shout out to the Beastie Boys. I heard it. They were like, we love you so much that we're going to protect you from the stars and the moon. We're going to protect you from everything. I was just in the planetarium in the Perlan, which was in Iceland, and they talked about why solar flares create the northern lights and how we're protected, and this great cosmic dance that's happening above us. And it's incredible, and it brought tears to my eyes. But I realized that even that they see me in, not that part of the Northern Lights and that solar flare thing, but they said, we are galactically protecting you. We are seeing your contribution and how you have work to do. And all of your life cannot just be in sadness and misanthropy, is what I just heard. It can't be in that kind of energy. It can't just be always having to clean up and feel whatever because of crazy ass collectives, cults, people that were or were not go-getters, lovers that did or not see you, whatever, y'all. We all have things in our life that are reoccurring patterns, right? And so that morning when I'm looking at the nonsense in front of me and I'm like, fuck, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I hate that I even pulled. I was upset. And they said, no, ask and you shall see. And they said, and just because we honor the divinity in thee, before the day is complete, you will hear it actually. God is good. When I tell you God is good and he loves me, she loves me, they love me, it loves me, the universe at large be in love with me. But let me tell you something, a little secret for thee, they're in love with you too. So completely. And they will do the same for you. When, the meme that's like, God don't play about me. God doesn't play about me, which allows me to operate exactly how I need to move and lets me know whether I need to bounce expeditiously or double down and invest totally and completely. So, message and takeaways today. If you're a reader, don't pull cards on your family connections, your love life, and or your business and interpersonal things. You're not going to get the clear, clean read. It could be just, that reading could have been just confusion for that moment. But what they were telling me was like, if you do not own it, jump up on it. If you don't get on top of this, this is going to get on top of you. And do you need another season of having all of this deep excavating work to do? No, because that's how, listen up here, empaths, listen up here, earth angels, that's how lower vibrational energy distracts you. And I'm not talking about the people, the collectives, or the business dynamics that it works through. I'm talking about, meaning like we're not going to identify those persons involved as that. But if you have a mission on this earth, then if they can't kill you, come on, can't kill you, because let me tell you, can you raise your hand like me if they've tried actually to kill you? Meaning the forces that be, because we are not wrestling with, flesh and blood, but about principalities. We're wrestling with principalities. The forces that be. So I've had spiritual hits put out on me by people that didn't want to see me win. And you think, could they have that much power, friend? No, but the devil's working through them. Certainly could. And we know of this cosmic thing we live in. Whether you are into Greek mythology or Indian lore regarding their goddesses and gods, or straight up Christianity, or whatever, there are religious texts with the same theme, that we're being observed. And maybe the thing that's observing us isn't quite so keen on our ultimate survival. It seems like sometimes it's sanctioned that we are allowed to go through trials and tribulations, rejections, hurts, failures, etc. So I certainly had my Job moment where spiritual hits were allowed to put out on me, where I was allowed to feel what it is to be like I am under the knee of God crushing me. Or if you look at tarot, I was at the bottom of the wheel of fortune, literally being thrown under the bus by the universe. But here's the thing. Weeping does not last for life. Joy does come in the morning time, but so does discernment and wisdom after you've been through the dark night of the soul. So people can definitely be objects to distract you when you're starting to get back on your feet and take hold. And distractions, from what I'm learning, come in all forms. It's very easy for us, having dealt with bombastic narcissists, to be like swatting that away. None of us, not one person listening today, could ever get love bombed and not see it from 20 miles away at this point in our life. Not one of us could ever have a narcissist to the degree that we've pushed out of our life ever circle back and us not like karate chop kick them, Chuck Norris style roundhouse to the throat. They go down. We're there over them with the samurai sword, daring them to get back up. None of us would ever fail that test again. I want you to pat yourself on the back because you definitely learned that lesson in the dark night of the soul. But here's what they've been teaching me. And oh, they are so wise. But I'm a teacher, so they allow me to have these experiences so that I can bring it to you, so that you can ingest it and put it into your database and put it into your insides. There will be other tests that don't look dangerous. There will be other tests that are quite delicious. There will be other tests. And here's the thing. I'm often very keen to testing. It's the teacher in me. And I talk to people about their tests because it's easy for me to see. I'm an observer. But what I don't always talk about is how I am being tested completely, totally, and thoroughly. I get tested every single day. Am I going to welcome in this energy or push it away? Am I going to say yes to this collective or say no? Am I going to join with this business partner or be on my way to go? Because all that it takes for a spiritual person that has a message to give is to be distracted so that they forget the mission that they were sent here to live and act out. I don't care if you're one person and you're sitting in your home by yourself listening to this. There is work that you have to do. My favorite quote from Deepak Chopra, there are people waiting for who you are becoming. And if lower vibrational energy, which is sent in sometimes to get you running away from your destiny, can get you distracted long enough, then they can make sure that you're not doing the work and that you are not getting out the message you're supposed to. And I promise you, it's never going to come in the form, if you're on this channel, of a big bag narcissist that gets you. No more, ever again. That's not your thing. It'll be more insidious. It'll be things you actually want. It'll be collectives that you want to be part of. It'll be business partners you want to join up with. It'll be lovers that entice and are magical to you. It'll be things that you're like, I would do this in 25 heartbeats. It'll be family members that are pounding you with all of their loyalty, but are full of deceit. And I'm not trying to sow insecurity into you, but it does mean that you do need to be vigilant, to pay attention to everything that's in front of you. The meme that's coming to my mind is one that you've seen, and maybe I'll try to make it the thumbnail for this, okay? It's a little girl offering a guy a flower, and the guy's bending down to give it to her. And the little girl, in the shadow, you see the devil's tail. And the guy is an angel. But they look like they would be swapped. Like she would be the innocent, sweet cherub, and he would be the evil, predatory person to watch out for. It's an ultimate lesson that you're never unlearning when you are in the empath, divine feminine, light worker, earth angel, cosmic being collective. Do not be distracted, because objects not only are closer than they seem, they may not appear as they are. And it will be your discernment that will get you far away from the danger in whatever capacity. You are not supposed to stay in situations that mean you know well, because it may not be that it is a fresh hell like we went through with the narcissist. It could be a slippery slope to distraction and draining of your life force and energy as you spend a lot of time unraveling non-important mysteries. It's a way for people to siphon energy. It's something that I'm hyper vigilant about. I don't know why. Maybe that was what I extracted and learned. Be very careful how you let people manifest off of your energy. Now, here's the thing that I know. If I'm invested into a collective, if I'm invested into my family, if I'm invested into a lover, if I'm invested into my bestie, if I'm invested into a partner, I give them my energy and I challenge them to manifest off of it, meaning I encourage it. I want to see growth with you. That is the teacher in me. That is the projector in me. I see your identity and I know how to make you better. But if I don't have reciprocity in any of those dynamics that I named, I will cut off the well water. And I allow people to exist in whatever they are fully capable of manifesting for themselves, because I am not the end all be all. I do know that my energy is an enhancer. If you guys are familiar with the planet of Jupiter, it creates expansion. And each one of you are the same. I want you to think about the relationships that you were in. You brought awareness and expansion and left the person that you cared with a gift of whatever, no matter what they did with it upon you disembarking. Think back to some of the most toxic narcissists you went with and think about what they took from you or how they leveled up off of you, okay? Now, when I am in connection and in relationship with someone, that is something that I want them to do. Because in relationship, everybody talks about what are you bringing to the table? The thing that I bring to the table is my energetic expansion package. It's Jupiterian energy. I will make you the shiniest, best thing that anybody has ever seen. And I have no problem, as long as you're respectful of me standing over here and doing my work quietly. But the second I see that it's going to go differently, meaning you are breaching the contract, and that happens in a multiplicity of ways, guys, and you have to decide what that is for you, then we no longer have work to do. Guess what, guys? That person, that collective, that family member, that business partner still now has whatever wisdom you imbued them with. You don't get those pearls back. That's why they say cast not your pearls before swine. I take a lot of time and energy to decide in the vetting processes who is worthy of my direct time and energy, because when I'm in your life, it's going to be better. The end. I'm confident as fuck about that. That's Leo talking. I have a series coming up, guys, where I'm going to be really breaking down our personalities regarding our zodiac signs. If you understand when you're looking at your chart and it says you have a Leo here and a Scorpio there, and you have a Libra there, and you have a Sagittarius here, you have an Aquarius there, and a Cancer there, and a Capricorn there, and a Pisces there, and a Taurus here, and a Gemini there, and a ba-ba-ba-ba-dee-dee for Virgo, all that, right? When you see that, if you can identify, just a quick aside and a plug for that, stay tuned for that, I think you'll enjoy it. When you can identify which part of your personality is ruling you and what house it's in, you'll understand how you operate and why you do in certain situations. Well, anyway, my sun sign is Leo. So I am very confident about who I am. I don't give a damn what people have thought. And it's been actually what has messed a lot of people up, because the package that I'm in does not denote that I would have the confidence that I do. Because in my society, the society we live in, a plus size black woman is not necessarily seen as the paragon of everything. But in my Leo soul, you can't tell me nothing. I'm hearing Kanye, oh, can't tell me nothing. Because that's the truth. And that's what has been kind of my, it's kind of been my like secret weapon, honestly, is that people see me as unsuspecting and feel like they can try me and feel like I'll just be like a simp in whatever regard, whether it's for the collective, for a lover, for a business partner, for a job that I was employed at. And I'm nobody's simp. Never that. I will let you feel like you whatever you want to, but there's a part in all of us that's able to pull the rug from underneath the folks that do take us for granted. It's actually one of my favorite things to do. I let people feel like, got this in the bag. Do you? Do you? Because I understand. I heard best I ever had. Best I ever had. That's what I'm hearing right now. I'm channeling Drake. Best I ever had. Best I ever had. A lot of you were the best people ever had. And they may have treated you badly and taken you for granted right in your face and not understood the grace and the beauty that you were offering to them. Let me tell you, they will long for you. I have people in my life right now that long for me, meaning they're not in my life right now. Oh, maybe there's more. maybe that was a channel. Maybe there's people in my life right now. I didn't mean to say that, but there are people that right now wish that I was in their life, because best they ever had. That part, I'm so very sure of it. Now, here's the thing to understand too. Sometimes things will come in to distract you, and sometimes things will be sent in to distract others that may have contract with you. That's another maybe message for another day. It just came to my mind as I was hearing myself say it. A lot of you guys that will get into connections, this is very specific for connections. Free will need to be involved in the connections that you're in. It always is. You have free will, the other person has free will. Now we're talking specifically about interpersonal dynamics, whether it's a bestieship or a lovership, those two very close relationships. Free will is involved. Other people will come in and distract you. And here's the thing, and this is something that I found in the last several years that I was like, oh, this is a lesson for me. I do the rule of 3. I only explain to somebody maybe 2 to 3 times who I am if I see that they're missing it, or they're just close to it, or maybe they're right on it. But after that, I just say, that's it. We have now, it's exhausted, and we're going to always do this kind of circular thing, and you want it to be missed. And so I let them miss it, and that's it. You have to be okay to let people walk away or miss whatever it is that is the benefit of your energy. I don't always even get to know the fullness of how God is about to up-level me. And that is because he knows that maybe I would have, in my excitement, blurted that out to people. Like I think of the Dark Night of the Soul things that I went through. Had I had known what my life would become, maybe I would have been telling the person who was treating me like they were dumb. Fucking dumb is what I heard. Oh my God, if you just wait, it's going to be da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But God didn't even let me know. Sometimes things will be hidden from you. And that brings me back full circle to the reading that I did. I don't suggest it highly, but I knew that I was at a pivotal energetic shift. I knew something was changing and I felt uneasy and I didn't understand it, but I was validated literally before the night ended, guys. You guys understand me? How powerfully you will be communicated with? Before the night ended, I had real confirmation, verbal confirmation, and I was like, that's it. This is it. I heard Michael Jackson. That's it. It was dead. It was dead to me. It was dead on arrival. I was like, that's it. I understand finally. I got my spiritual lesson, and then I was able to ascend and I was able to up level without having to go through the tower. In a tarot reading, you will see that Tower card, and everybody hates it because it's scorpionic energy, and it's something that comes in and blindsides you usually, so that you wake up because whatever you were about to do was about to be detrimental to you. So your ancestors and angels step in, and they're like, let's shake some shit up right now so that she can get back on track again, or he can get back on track again. And it's something you'll hate. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna hold you. The Tower makes you so uncomfortable when it happens. And my angel said, we'd like for you to avoid the Tower. You are going to be out of your power if you continue down this path. This path, this direction, this collective is not for you. And we'll let them let you know that before you move on, so that you know exactly what kind of work you have to do. And the work that I have to do is of discerning even the most differently altered things, meaning it's not the narcissist that's killing your dreams. Distractions come in all packages, guys. And you have to be able to open your spiritual eyes and see that. And it's tough because our carnality and our flesh will stay anchored. But the people that I have watched, I have my eyes closed right now and I'm envisioning them, that have chosen to stay anchored to their flesh, have nothing but regrets. I think back in my past, years and years ago, of these people that I used to know that chose their flesh and their materialism and their every lower vibration, all three of those chakras, root, solar, and sacral, over the heart, over the crown, and over the throat chakra. They decided to be held down and stay down, 10 toes down, and now they are mired in the ground. And they wish for spiritual ascension, but they can't get it. And that is how, the way my chart's set up, is that I have no problem walking away from the things that are carnal, that beckon me. Come on, beckon. Come on, sirens call to stay. Because I understand, well, if I won't have it this way, I'll have it another way. You could get with this, or you could get with that. You could get with this, or you could get with that. You could get with this, or you could get with that, or you could get with this. Because this is where it's at. You have to decide where it's at for you. But let me tell you, if you ask your angels to give you clarity, they'll make sure that you are on the right path so that you can still do the work you have to do and have everything that you were supposed to have. I have always been able to release the outcome. Collectives, people, lovers, friends come in all kinds of packages. I don't shun someone because of the package they're in. Probably a hazard of the life and body I've been in. I now have ultimate respect to understand that it could be anybody, and that who am I to overlook what is right in front of me? But that is my lesson. I am here as a teacher to a lot of people to say, this is the quote that they're giving me is, it is not the package that you expected, but it is the experience that you manifested. A lot of people have, quote unquote, passed on me, overlooked me, or allowed whatever to happen before them to distract them from whatever we had to do, because I was not the package. And it didn't seem like their dream from a lower chakra level, root, sacral, solar, come true. And I know it's like, oh my God, Mona, why would you say that? Because it's true. Because that's the truth that I incarnated in to help people realize just exactly how superficial they are. Because people have forfeited me by far, over and over again, guys, only to be like, my God, oh my God, I didn't get that right. Because no matter what was the visceral thing that took the attention in their life, they reflected upon my absence and saw that ours was a contract they might have wanted to sign. And it breaks my heart for them, but not that much. So for you, if you have had similar instances to, understand that maybe you incarnated with a special work to do. You guys are not all in my body. You guys that's not the story of your life. You have a different story that is your life. But I want you to think about, what is the repeating pattern and story in your life? You know, when I work with clients, that's what I pick out. That's how I'm able to help you, is understand what patterns you're working through and how that can overlap generationally or romantically or business-wise. So I know what the pattern is in my life, and I know it happens to me so often now that it's just like, we breathe in again? All right, exhale, and next. Thank you, next. I'm so effing grateful for my ex. Isn't that what Ariana Grande said? I'm so grateful for all of my exes. I'm so grateful for all of the people in my life that I've ever loved. To all the girls I loved before. That's why Clef John. We channeling all the songs today. Guantanamera. Gone till November is what I just heard. Hey, what's happening in November for somebody? Yeah. I see you crying, but girl, I can't stay. I'll be gone till November. I send a kiss to my mother. Yeah. Guys, listen. Some people missed out, and some people will miss out, and some people are designed to miss out. And some people are sent in to distract, and some people will be distractions for you, and some people will be distractions for other people. I'm so aware to the cosmic play that's happening there, and even when it's happening with me, I see. And I know, and you can't listen. And as a spiritualist too, I'm going to tell you this. For a spiritualist, we have patterns that reoccur. It could be different people, different bodies, but it's the same dynamic. And for me, I have the same thing happen to me no matter what. No matter where I go, one day it's going to be the Sorcerer's Stone and it'll be magical. And it will be gotten by the collective, by the persons, by the people, whomever. But I have the same thing happen in every single pivotal connection. And it's at this point, it's comedy. And I'm like, one day, like, we're going to get it right someday. So I just wait for that day. But for you, I want you to identify what your patterns are. What's the same thing that happens for you in your connections, your relationships, your business partnerships? You know, here's the thing that is going to be a common truth through all of it. Your spirit team will usually give you a heads up when it's about to go left. They're going to tell you it's a no, or it's a yes, or it's a yes. And one of the things that I want you to know is that whatever happens for you, like let's say you decide to join that business partnership, let's say you decide to be in that lovership, let's say you decide to embark on the bestie journey of a lifetime, it will be divine. It will be divinely guided, which means it's not going to be stress. If you feel stressed out, even if they don't, let's say the other person's involved, literally you're like, everything's great. What are you talking about? I'm thinking of that NPC girl, like, baby, I'm licking ice cream. I'm licking ice cream. If you feel like the other person is an NPC and they just going through the motions and they don't realize the reality or the depth of the spirituality, that's okay too. But what do you feel about it? Are you an NPC? Are you just like, yes, baby, yes, baby, yes, baby? Or are you actually a thinking, feeling person? What do you want out of that situation? That's something that I pay a lot of attention to now. Because it shouldn't be stressful. If I have to, and this was a reoccurring theme in my life, me often having to be like, hey, this is what's going on over here. So just so you know, like, heads up, 7-Up, these people are dangerous, or don't listen to the distractions, or don't pay attention to the whatever, right? That happens to me all the time in any pivotal connection. And when I can tell after 3 that a person is going to disregard me, it means that I'm going to be forever. This is such a huge takeaway for you guys today. I will be forever trying to make that person see my value, because they don't. If they could be so easily distracted, I always give a person 3 times because that's life. But if they could be so easily distracted by every fucking thing, they're always going to be. And what is that going to do? It's going to put me in a position of having to stress to prove my value and my worth. That's wild. I know my value and my worth, you know? And you know your value and your worth. Think of any relationship where you've had to repeatedly, like, do that. Now, that's unfortunately a theme for me because, you know, I am a galvanizer of people's spirituality, meaning like when people come up to me or when they meet me or when I get involved with connections and energies, it means that I'm here to be a catalyst to a degree. I'm literally going to help you ascend. Either way, you ascending, okay? That's the thing. It can be fun with me or it's going to be what it's going to be without me, meaning when I'm in someone's life, I am a buffer to their spiritual growth. Spiritual growth isn't easy and sometimes it's a little painful. So I definitely lubricate the wheels of spiritual growth for people. And it's much easier, I know, from feedback I've gotten from those who have not been with me. I've had people spin the block and be very candid, like, B, I wish I hadn't done that, but I did it. See, that's the thing about it. Once it's done, it's no going back. And you get to decide that. How many people have you guys allowed to repeatedly? If you've done the narcissist Big Bang Theory, Dark Night of the Soul thing, no one gets repeatedly. You get to decide how much that is. And for me, it's 3. That's it. After that, then there's new people to introduce my magical spirituality and self to, because there's always more work to do. But your angels will always give you the heads up. on whether that work is true or not, whether it's worth the investment or it isn't. There's always new people, there's new packages, there's new energies, and there are new entities. Careful, new levels, new devils that come along with it, okay? You do not have to be stuck killing yourself trying to make something work that doesn't want to work. Do you know that people will, oh my God, the way that I have been so loved after I thought that I had to prove myself and do a PowerPoint of my magic and how I can enhance your life. Now, I give everything a good old college try because that's me, it's a teacher in me. Like, did you try? Did you study? Did you apply yourself? And when I can answer the question yes to all three of those questions, then I'm like, take off. It's a rocket ship. I'm out of here. Blasting off. Mission control, do you read me? This is ground control to Major Tom. I'm the fuck out of there. Because I realize that to stay longer, to quote unquote prove myself, will only cause despair. And that's the message you need to know. Stand up. You know that meme? Stand up. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for your integrity. Stand up for your amazing divinity. If someone is on some bullshit with you, then that's not work you have to do. Do you need to pull a card or two or three? Maybe. Do you need to move a pendulum and see, okay, do that too? Do you need to just ask yourself? But there's usually empirical evidence that is presenting itself. Stand up and know that there are 1 million people in this world, and we can get so attached to an outcome, but then we will stay grounded and not in a way that's going to cause growth. I wish I would have released the narcissist in my life so much longer than I did before I did. Meaning, I don't know, I didn't say that right, but like, it took me so many years to realize what a basura piece of ish that person was. And I don't give a damn what spiritual growth they had to do in my absence, and that they probably did do. I wish I would have kicked rocks with them 10 years ago. Like, instead of only 5 or however long it's, I don't even know how long it's been anymore. I wish, but I didn't because I was so attached. I was like, I've invested. Investment is like constipation is what I just heard. Do you want to like blow yourself out and hurt yourself, or do you want to just release? Some of y'all need to take some spiritual Colace and Miralax, okay? Some of y'all need some, what's the other one? It's natural magnesium, okay? Some of y'all need some magnesium. Some of y'all need some Colace. Some of y'all need some Senna tea. You need to release the outcome that you are constipatedly holding on to. There's 1 million more people, collectives, business partners, besties, and lovers that stretch out in front of you. And if you have invested a substantial amount of time in any one direction, and it doesn't seem like it's about to be your dream come true, all the while it could be their dream come true, meaning like maybe someone's benefiting off of you, or they are benefiting in some degree because they're siphoning your energy, whether they mean to or not to. Girl, I no longer debate the merit of like, are they good? Is they bad? You waste a lot of time trying to figure out, are they mad? Is they sad? Do they love me? Do they not? No. Sometimes entities are working through people and they don't even realize it. So they just there, taking up your time and energy. That part. So you don't have to like do all that. That's a lot of time wasting when you're like, oh my God, what are they trying to get me? If you not feel supported, you feel like you're always in misery, you feel like it's always stressful, do you feel like it's always a shenanigan, then that's your answer. That's it. It doesn't matter who they are. Because they, for the next person, could be a whole magical treat. It could be easy as a breeze because maybe that was actually their destiny. Oh, mind blown, mind blown, mind blown. That's the part we don't want to hear, right? As a reader, it's a part that I'm often tasked to say to you, but I say it to myself. So don't think that I don't walk it like I talk it. Because if I'm over here telling you, believe me, my angels made me walk through it. They taught it to me first. I am not everybody's ultimate destiny or ultimate fantasy. Could we do a lot of spiritual work that would have been beneficial? Absolutely. Would it have been Jupiterian energy of expansion and growth for both of us? Probably. But their carnal, lower vibrational chakras, those lower three, sometimes they win. And you got to let that be what it be. And then call in what is right for you. Don't take every single thing as a rejection, because guess what? They might have had other work to do. Maybe you were supposed to level someone up so that they could go imbue someone else's magical spirituality, and they get to be the teacher, and they get to be the one that sees growth. And maybe, here's the thing about being the teacher, they will know all parts of what that feels like. And being the teacher is to release, meaning that you may spend a lot of time and energy into someone, but they are not your student forever, and you shouldn't want them to be. One of my favorite things is when I do have clients that go and come back and tell me, oh my gosh, I took some time away and this is the magical thing that happened. Like at the end of every school season, a student will graduate, and maybe sometimes a student 5 years later will come back and say, Mrs. So-and-so, you were such an inspiration. Those are some of my most delicious moments in teaching. I have people that I work with for a lifetime, and some people that go and come, and some people I work with for a small season, and then they never come back, only other than to say hi. And I'm okay with all of those iterations. But in our connections, love relationships, bestieships, and business partnerships, some of those dynamics exist too. Maybe someone is not supposed to just be just with you. They are supposed to be with whomever, so that they can teach and they can know what the other side of being you feels like in every way, actually. Again, know that your spiritual discernment will never leave you. That your angels will give you a heads up about whatever work you have to do and whatever treacherous or beautiful thing is laying before you. What is sprawled out before you. The world is your oyster, and the people therein too. And since you've already done your dark night of the soul, that is homework you'll never have to do again. Now you just have to listen, even if it doesn't make sense, like it didn't to me on that morning when I pulled those swords and saw those cups and thought, what is about to fuck up? And they said, just wait a minute. Wait for it. You'll understand shortly. And when I tell you those angels, they never lie to me. Come back and join me next time, and we will continue to evolve, because they will never lie to thee. And that's on God, that's on Goddess, that's on universe, totally and completely.